So you're playing Genshin, you do a 10 pull, and you get 5-star Mualani. Now, what do you get with Mualani besides Kenich's girlfriend? Well, Mualani is a catalyst-wielding Hydra user that is one of the first characters that Genshin designed, and possibly even still the only character that is designed more specifically for forward vaporized reactions. And in this video, we are going to look at the basics of how Mualani works. Now, Mualani, being a catalyst user, her normal attacks are going to do Hydra damage. She does have these really cool animations, but nothing too crazy. Now, while her normal attacks actually don't matter, we will be clicking that button later on to do a lot of damage. That is going to be coming through her skill. Now, what her skill does is whenever you hit E, it is going to put her on Sharky. Yes, this does have Natlan overworld moving mechanics like a lot of the Natlan characters have, but that's not necessarily what we're going to be talking about here. In this, whenever you hit E and you summon Sharky, you do no damage. The skill itself, activating the skill, does no damage. You have to ride around, and as you ride around, you're going to see that next to her Night Souls gauge, there's going to be marks. And every time that you mark an enemy, or you can mark the same enemy 3 times, you are going to get a stack that you're going to go up to 3. When we have all 3 stacks, we want to use our normal attack damage. This is going to do an absolute ton of damage. This is going to be her main source of damage. The more enemies that we have around, the quicker that we can build up these stacks on Mualani. And then of course, if you do the normal attack, then you're going to have like the sharks coming up from the bottom as well, hitting multiple enemies around you. Now, during all of this, if Sharky hits an opponent, a pufferfish will be generated from one of her passives. Doing this will give you back some Night Souls Blessings points. So you can do multiple instances of these high damage normal attacks through marking enemies in a single instance of her E. And then of course, in Natlan, you're going to have even more time on like the overworld. This isn't going to work as smoothly or as long. It's not going to last as long. And like the Abyss or something like that, in Natlan, it's going to last a while because you can get the Phlogiston. Now, this is going to be her main source of damage. Even though her burst does do a lot of damage, this is still going to be her main source of damage. Before we talk about her burst, though, I do want to look at her other passive, which is that after a Night Souls burst is triggered by anybody in the party, she's going to gain a stack of something. Whenever you use her burst, it is going to consume the stacks and is going to increase the damage of the burst based on the stacks and based on her max HP. Now, her burst is going to be relatively simple. She is simply going to do a very large instance of hydro damage. This can also vape, so you can get a ton of damage out of this too. So you can have a lot of damage coming through her burst and coming through her skilled normal attack combination. Now, all of her kit does scale off of HP, which is really good because of Hydra Resonance. So if we have 2 Hydra characters in this team together, then we are going to be getting Hydra Resonance, increasing the max HP of our entire team. So this can be really good to have that Hydra Resonance. She does work fairly well with Farina, as long as you have enough Pyro in your team, being like Zhangling, who has no internal cooldown on her burst, to apply Pyro to the enemies, so that way Mualani can get the vaporized reactions, right? We don't want to have Farina steal those vaporized reactions. We want Mualani to get those vaporized reactions in this team. But the Hydra Resonance and the buffing and just the overall damage that you get from having Farina in a team with Mualani is really good. You can also do like a cool team of like a burning vape team, something like Emily, Nahida, and Dia with Mualani. You can also do something like that. It actually works really well as well. So overall, her kit is not super, crazy or anything like that. Just ride Sharky, mark the enemies, normal attack, use ulti when it's available, right? That's really it. She doesn't have a ton of intricacies in her kit. Just make sure that you are not hitting the skill again. Make sure you're hitting your normal attack to do that large instance of damage. And then try to partner her up with some other Natlan characters. That way you can get your Night Souls burst more often, giving you more for that second passive. Now, for artifacts, Obsidian Codex is going to be her best set, which is going to give the Night Souls Blessing, damage buff thingy, and then it's also going to give crit rate in the 4-piece. So this is going to be really good because it's going to allow you to invest a ton into crit damage. Now, I don't have a 4-piece Obsidian Codex, so in this, I was actually running like a 2-piece VG, 2-piece NIMP stream, because she does scale off of HP and does Hydro damage. So that's also going to be like another option, or you could be running like Heart of Depth. And then for the main sets, of course, you're running like an HP Sands, a Hydro Goblet, and then a crit rate or crit damage circlet, most likely a crit damage if you're running Obsidian Codex. Now, for weapons, the good thing is that while her signature is going to be really good, which is Surf's Up, you do have a ton of other really good free-to-play options. For instance, in this, I was running Sacrificial Jade, which isn't necessarily free-to-play, it's a Battle Pass weapon, but this is actually her second best option, giving a little bit of crit rate, allowing you to get all of your crit rate from just this weapon and Obsidian Codex, and then you need very minimal the rest of the way through in substats. Like if you all roll crit damage for the rest of it, but have a little bit of extra crit rate in there, then you can get a ton of crit rate this way. But then the passive is also going to be really good, giving her HP and Elemental Mastery for the vaporized reactions. You just have to make sure that you kind of take her off the field for more than 5 seconds, run through the rest of your team, bring her on, use her skill, and then take her back off within the 10 seconds. That way you don't lose the HP and the EM buff. Some other great options are going to be the Natlan craftable weapon. This is going to be another really good weapon. This is going to be her best free-to-play option. You do have that event weapon that we had, that Catalyst is going to give a ton of HP. Really, anything that's going to give elemental mastery or HP or a crit stat, right? So even like Nahita's signature can be really good, or you can do like Prototype Amber, the Mondstadt craftable weapon, right? Especially if you're going to be using her with Farina because of the fanfare stacks, right? It's not going to give a ton of healing, but it's going to give a little bit of healing whenever you use your burst. So you do have several good options, some being craftable, battle pass weapon, an event weapon, her signature, and then even like Nahita's, right? So you have a ton of options that you can use on Mualani that it doesn't have to necessarily be her signature. Of course, her signature is her best, but it doesn't have to be her signature. Well, I'm going to have to cut all of that out. I got a phone call. My car's in the shop right now, so I'm going to have to cut all of that out. But this is the end of the video anyway. Mualani's kit, again, it's not super crazy. You're going to want to run Vape. Yes, you can do stupid things like me and try Mualani freeze teams with Sitlali, but of course, you know, Vape is still going to be her best. But all in all, her kit's not super bad. She has a lot of good artifact options. She has a lot of good weapons options. She's a really good character. And that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Cookie has green hair. I have white hair, and I will see you in the next one.